Okay, for advanced PLC, we're going to try to use our brain a little bit. If you don't have intro this semester, then get with me so that I can let you watch the intro video. Okay, the intro class, what they did is they tied that horizontal cylinder to 1 so that anytime they flipped 1 up, that cylinder would come out. And then they tied 2. It won't take as long for this one to go out. Okay, so they tied switch 2 to this vertical cylinder, but put an oscillator on it so that it would oscillate. Okay, yours is going to be a little bit harder. You can use the same thing that you built in 1 if you want to, to tweak it or do whatever to use it as a springboard. But you're going to automate this. All right, so imagine that we have a clamp that comes out and clamps something, and then we've got something that's going to come down and punch a bunch of holes, okay? So what I want you to do, and I'm not giving you code for this, okay? Like, I want you to go back through the other labs if you need a refresher, but you're going to automate this process. What's going to happen is when somebody flips switch 1, I want that to come out to clamp, but instead of them having to hit switch 2, or you having to hit switch 2, you're going to have the program come out to punch out 5 times onto that horizontal cylinder. So all a person has to do is flip switch 1 up, okay? That cylinder comes out, that horizontal cylinder that's on output 0. Top one's going to come down and punch out 5 times onto that rod. And as soon as it's done with number 5, they both come back in. Okay? Now, there's a couple of things that you're going to have to think about. That switch 1 is going to be on. So if you just depend on switch 1, then it'll go boop, doo, 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 and then it'll go back and then it'll start over again. What I want you to try to think about is how to make it so that if somebody forgets to flip that switch back down, that it doesn't keep going, okay? So if they flip that switch up, it goes 1 time. Horizontal 1 comes out. Both of them go back, and they wait for somebody to go and turn that switch off and then back on. All right, because we're not going to have switches. Imagine somebody goes out and pushes that button. It needs to happen, even though when they release that button, it's going to keep going through with its routine. Okay, so yes, the switch 1 does matter, but just to trigger that, you should be able to go up there and flip switch 1 on and then back off, and it go through its full routine. Okay, now there's a few things that you've learned that would do that. First of all, a seal-in circuit. And making sure that, your timer on and timer off delays, you're going to have an oscillator in there, right? There's 50 different ways of doing this. Now, I'm going to help you, but this is a big one, okay? This is where you're starting to think for yourself. Now, that being said, some of you are going to be able to, knock it out in 1 lab. I don't know that most of you will. Like, I'll have to nudge you and, kind of point you in the right direction a few times. And I might have to put up another video if people keep hitting the same tree, okay? But I want to give you the opportunity to do as much of this on your own. So I think this will probably span 2 labs for most of you, or it'll span 2 labs for everybody. So don't get discouraged. Like, me personally, I don't go and automatically pull up TIA and start trying to code. I'll get a piece of paper and I'll kind of halfway draw out how the system should work, okay? And then I'll start breaking it down into subsystems. I know I need an oscillator to keep it going. I need a counter to keep track of how many times it's oscillating. I need I might need a sequencer, because there's, a couple steps there. Step 1, it comes out. Step 2, boom, 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 5 times. Step 3, they both go out. And then we need it to kind of set when we flip it and then not reset until we flip it back down, okay? And we can do that with the stuff that we have. So I want you to try to get as far with this as you can. If you need help, let me pull this back up. Like, if you don't have, come on now. Never mind. I'm not going to waste time on that. If you don't have a wiring diagram, I'll let you borrow mine. If you've got any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Like, that's why I'm here. This can be a really fun thing because there's 50 different ways you could do this. I'm not telling you how to right now. Okay. Like, my way might not be as good as the way you figure out. Okay. I could think of 3 of them off the top of my head right now, but just think in terms of what it needs to do, when it needs to do it, and you have the tools in your tool bag. You might want to go look at some of the older videos, especially with oscillators and cylinder circuits and timers and counters, and you're going to use all these. So let's have a good week. There's a lot of good things going on. I'm looking forward to it. That's why I'm up here on Sunday at 5:50. Because I have some stuff I want to do, and I want to put these videos together and have y'all do a little bit better things with your PLC. Hope y'all have a good one.